I'd like to talk about Christmas because it's next week already. So your personal opinion, how do you know about Christmas and what do you think about Christmas?
So for me, Christmas is like my favorite holiday of all time. Yeah, because when you think about Christmas, you get a feeling of like cozy, snowing, and people singing. Yeah, I really like Christmas. But I haven't have an experience like a full Christmas yet because yeah, I live here in Thailand. People don't do anything much about Christmas. They just like pass it like one day. Yeah. So I want to experience full Christmas on abroad or somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. If you had a chance to go and celebrate Christmas abroad, where would you like to go?
I don't know. I don't know about anything about Christmas, like where do they hold? But
abroad, they celebrate Christmas everywhere. I mean, apart from like Muslim world, because they don't celebrate Christmas, right? So maybe like European countries or America.
Maybe UK.
UK, okay. So what would you like to do?
I don't know. Maybe go to grocery store, buy something to eat, buy snack, and get a hotel to stay, eat,
Is that how
sleep.
Is that how you celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. Christmas is just like a New Year's Eve for Thai people. Or what is it? Like Songkran festival. It's like that. Because Christmas is like a new year for international. No, I mean like they celebrate the birth of Jesus. So that's more likely that families gather together on the 24th of December. That is Christmas Eve. Okay, so they meet, they eat, they have party, they sing, they give presents. Yeah, and then they just, it's like just family party or close friends, stuff like that. So would you like to join them?
I don't know. Maybe I do alone, but it sounds fun, so maybe I join them.
Okay. If you had a friend or a relative living in England, would you like to go and visit him or her to celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, of course. I would go live there.
You go and live there?
Yeah.
You mean live there forever? Live there for
for better lives.
Oh, okay. And what would you be doing if you live there? What would you be doing?
If I live there, about the career path, I don't know, but I think I'm gonna live there as a student. But in the future, if I have to live there and make a job, I don't know.
All right. Have you ever been in a Catholic school since your childhood? No.
No, it's just Buddhism school.
All right, and you are Buddhist as well?
Yeah.
So that's why you don't know much about Christmas celebration. Okay.
Yeah.
But in general, it's just like as I told you that family and friends, they meet together in one place, maybe in somebody's house, and then they just, like have special dinner. Some even go to church at midnight because the 24th at midnight time is is next morning of 25th already, right? So some people go to church. When I was little, I go to church every Christmas Eve as well at midnight, and my family celebrate Christmas every year. Okay, and now it's like I'm used to it. So even if like at the moment we are like, because of the COVID, so I try to avoid meeting, in contact with people. So that's why there is no celebration, but however, I still like, happy to put on the decorations for 12 days. That's how I celebrate my Christmas quietly by myself. Okay. Anyway, so if you never experience about the Christmas, how about the New Year's Eve? Have you ever done anything for New Year's Eve that you really, like very impressed and you still want to do it again?
Yes, no. For me, when it's come to New Year, I would normally go to Nakhon Phanom and celebrate there with my relatives and family there. And most of the time, it's just a little party around the relatives, the cousin, just that. But it's very fun though, the party. Yeah.
Okay, when you celebrate, do you celebrate like overnight?
Yes.
So what did you do? And what kind of food that you prepare for dinner? Did you prepare by yourself?
No, it's the job. It's for the kind of older to prepare, and for the younger, they just bring some food here, and we have like a barbecue, like a steak grill on the tao, and they bring some alcohol. Yeah.
Are you
and
allowed to
open
drink
it.
alcohol?
Sorry.
Are you allowed to drink some alcohol?
Yeah.
But the parents know.
My parents know.
That's only occasionally, right?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, what kind of alcohol that you drink?
It's beer and soju.
Beer and what?
Soju.
Soju.
Yeah, it's alcohol from South Korea.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right. So what kind of beer do you drink? It's like can or bottle?
It's a bottle, and my older cousin just drinks to me in my glass. Yeah.
Okay, if it's a can, how many cans can you drink?
So at that time, I start like hanging around with them since 9 p.m. late up until 5 a.m. And my mind is still alive. Yeah, I didn't feel like I get drunk. Maybe I don't know myself, but I didn't feel like I get drunk. So I think I can maybe 10. Is it too much? Maybe 5. I haven't tried yet. I can.
So what's the maximum that you had before? I mean, in your experience.
It's that night. I drank around like 5 glasses, like a long glasses. Just 5, because the beers taste very terrible, and yeah.
So how did you feel? Were you drunk or just tipsy?
I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like, am I flying? Not anything. I'm pretty sure that I'm not drunk.
Really?
Maybe I'm drunk, but I don't know. I'm sure. Yeah, I don't feel like I get drunk. I
Okay.
can do the normal thing perfectly. Yeah.
So that means you must have eaten something before you start drinking, right? I mean, like you didn't have your empty stomach. Hello? You didn't have empty stomach, right? When you were drinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good, because if you drink when your stomach is empty, you get drunk very easily. Yeah. So what is your reaction? I mean, if you are drunk, what is your reaction? Like sleep, laugh, talk, cry? What is it?
I don't know, because I'm not drunk yet. I don't know, but I think maybe.
You never.
Sorry.
You
Yeah,
never
I'm never drunk yet. Maybe I sleep, but I don't think I want to sleep.
Have you ever seen anybody who get drunk and then their behavior just changed?
Yeah.
Anyone? Can you tell me?
Yes.
I mean, can you share with me who was that and what was the reaction?
It's my dad and my mom.
All right.
Yeah, they usually drink wine.
All right.
So for my dad, he's gonna be very talkative and play jokes very often,
Oh, that's good.
and but he can like for just around 1 hour, and then after that he sleep.
Okay.
And for my mom, she's turned very talkative too. She laughs very easily and gets like to go by anything. Like she just saw that and start laughing.
Okay.
And
Good.
yeah, but she not very sleepy.
It's not what, sorry?
She's not gonna sleep.
All right. Okay. Is there any other kind of people who get drunk with some behavior very strangely that you have experienced before?
No, because I'm just 15. I haven't experienced a lot of alcohol or party that much, so I don't know much.
No. I mean, for somebody else, not you.
Yeah, I mean,
Other than your parents.
no, because I didn't go to party that much.
All right. So you normally have party at home, and you drink with your family?
No, I'm not drink. I mean, I can drink, but I'm not.
Okay. And you don't like to drink?
Sometimes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and then what's the next day? I mean, what happened the day after, the morning after that your parents got drunk? They talk a lot, they laugh a lot. And what happened after that? I mean, the next morning?
They come back to their sons like normal.
Okay.
Yeah, like nothing happened.
Did they know that they were talking and laughing too much the night before?
I think they don't know. Yeah.
Okay. But has anybody made the video recording when they were like talking and laughing?
No, they usually drink together, so yeah, no one take a video.
Okay. Okay. So what do you think if you saw someone like got drunk and very aggressive? Oh, what do you think about that kind of people when they get aggressive after been drinking a lot of alcohol?
I mean, I have nothing to do with them, but I'm not gonna talk to them because I think I'm gonna get hit easily. If I can, I just gonna put them to sleep.
Okay, what happened if, what would you do? I mean, what would you do if you invited some friends to your house for a party, maybe like New Year's Eve party at home, and all of them are boys, and
Yeah.
they got drunk. Okay, let's say you have five people, and including you, that makes 6 people together. They are all your friends from school, very close friends, and they got drunk so badly, and they started to be aggressive. They started to, like going to fight or argue with something, but you are the only person who doesn't drink. You drink, maybe you just get tipsy, but you don't get drunk. So what would you do to stop this issue without having to, like harm anybody? What would you do?
I mean, that's not gonna happen, that you not gonna harm anybody. So I'm just gonna leave them do whatever they want in a room and lock them, and I go to sleep.
But they are in your house. They might damage something in your house.
I mean, yeah, they have to pay later to that.
But what if they are very, very aggressive? They fight.
I mean, if they fight, maybe just gonna call the parents to take them home, maybe put them to sleep. Yeah.
And if they don't listen to you,
I'm gonna leave them, kick his ass out of my house and leave them at the door.
but it's in the middle of the night and they can't go anywhere.
I don't really care at that time. I'm
But
just
they are
gonna
your
keep
friends.
well, we're gonna make up later, I think. Yeah.
Right. You're very tough, huh?
Yeah. I mean, they're not responsible for themselves, that what they deserve.
All right. Okay, you are very tough. But you never experienced this before, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, now, do you think in the next 15 years, now you have friends, right? Close friends, which I don't know how many you have got, but do you think in the next 15 years, you still remain friends with this, group?
I don't think so,
Why not?
because it's very hard to like still be in touch with your childhood friends when everyone has their stuff to do, have their work to do. So if 15 years later, gonna be 30, everyone gonna work for their lives to feeding themselves. Maybe it's 1 or 2 still remaining as a close friend from childhood, but I don't think so. Maybe I don't think we're gonna be this close yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you see yourself in the next 15 years?
15 years.
What do you see yourself?
$15. Actually, I can't tell, but I think I'm gonna live in some apartment by myself, and or maybe I'm just go live there in a Phnom, or maybe I'm just gonna live abroad. Maybe I'm just gonna be an officer worker. I don't know, maybe freelance. It can be anything, actually.
Right. But have you ever planned for anything for your life?
No,
No?
no.
Are you going to have your own business instead of working for some people?
Maybe I'm gonna create my business, but I don't know.
Okay.
That's
So what kind of business if you could make it?
maybe a food product.
Okay. How you
Yeah,
manage it? You mean
I
like
don't know.
you mean like open a restaurant or you do like I don't know stuffed food?
I will do some maybe snack and put them in the package and deliver them to market store like Big C, Tops, 7, Tesco, like that.
It's like you are like going to produce and then send to those wholesalers to sell for you.
Yeah,
Okay. Are you going to have like hire somebody to help or you want to do by yourself?
of course I have to hire somebody else because I'm not gonna do all of it by myself.
So what is the cost that you think for the capital to invest in your business?
I don't know. It's about my product price too. How much is it gonna be?
And if you didn't have any money, what would you do? But you really wanted to do it. You really wanted to do this business so much, but you didn't have any money at all. So what would you do?
I'm just not gonna do it and do whatever I can afford to.
But why didn't you make a loan? Like maybe start
mean-
with the SMI?
Yeah, but if I have to make a loan, I have to have like my budget like amount some budget first, because if I make a loan out of my 0 baht, I'm just gonna make a debt and I cannot afford to pay a debt later. So that's not a very good choice of me. But if I have a little budget and I have to make some loan, that's kind of okay because it's a risk that you have to take on to make your business.
But everything is a risk. Whatever
Yeah,
you do is very risky in anything in any field of business, right? Even if
yes.
you have like 1,000 or hundreds million baht, it's also very risky to do anything with a situation like this, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you have to trade chickens, 2 chickens for 1 family. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. After your graduation, what would you what would you like to do immediately after the graduation? The very first point that you think, what would that be?
Rest. I think I'm gonna take maybe 1 year off before I go to the college and go explore myself.
No. I mean, when you finish everything, when you finish your education and
Oh,
you're ready to start your new life in a new chapter of life, but not as a student anymore. You are a man now. Okay, so what is your first point that you aim for?
that's kind of far, but I think after all the long time of study for this last 20 years, and then I'm just gonna take a rest. After that, I go to get a work, maybe from my apprentice that I graduated, but I don't know.
But why you want to take a rest after you finish graduation? You are still like, you should be still like very energetic, and it's like you just graduate and everything is still in a hot temperature.
No, I don't think I'm gonna be that energetic when I graduated. I'm gonna be very tired and hate everything there. I'm just gonna take a rest and refuel myself with some positive energy and start a work after that.
For how long that you need
I don't know,
for a break?
maybe a week,
A
a
week?
month, maybe.
Oh, that's fine. It's only just a week. That's fine because you're not going to get a job right away, though, right? Probably takes months. But the longest, I think it should be like 45 days to get a job. I mean, a good job. Okay. If you had to be like working for some people, what would you like to be? What would you like to be working with? A private company or like to be government service?
If I have to work for somebody,
Yeah, because when you finish your education, I mean you graduated already, probably I think it's best to be an employee first, right? To gain experience of working for somebody, right? So that you know the experience of being an employee first, so you know how it's like to be an employee. So what you I know that you might not be thinking about it right now, but I'm just asking if so what would you do?
First of all, I don't see myself as an officer worker at all. I kind of see myself as a freelance more. Like when they hire me to do thing, I do thing and then I get the money. Like that, more of an officer. But maybe I will go to officer once to make an experience, but it's kind of very hard because of the organization that has to make contract with you that you're not gonna live here soon, at least for minimum maybe 5 years. It's gonna take a lot of time in my lives, and I don't think I'm gonna be happy as a officer worker. So yeah, maybe I'm not gonna do it and just go as freelance.
Okay, as being a freelance, are you going to work for just one company or just or anywhere?
anywhere because the income it's very unstable. So yeah, have to find as much as you can.
So what kind of job would that be?
Maybe for arts fields,
Okay.
teacher, maybe what, I don't know.
What is your specialty in art?
Kind of graphic design.
Right. Okay. So you're good at graphic design.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of having your own business in doing the graphic design, or you prefer to do like catering?
I haven't think of doing graphic design as a business, like my own business once, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do it.
But earlier you were talking about doing the food business, right? The catering. So what kind of food is that? Is it like fresh cooked food, or is it like dry food, or is it, I don't know, what kind of food that you think you would do?
I think for a small business, it would be better to go with dry food because it can store for very long time. If you do like a fresh food, like a dishes, like a rice with thing, it's เสียง่าย. What is it? What are you expired?
It's gone bad.
Yeah, and it's had to take a lot of money because you have to do it every day and send it to everywhere, and the delivery fee too. Yeah, it's not good for small business, so I think I'm gonna go to dry food first.
Okay, if it's dry food, is it going to be like seafood or whatever it is? What is the best thing that you think it is the best thing that you should do?
I think of an what ธัญพืช
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to grow those by yourself, or you have to buy from somebody, or like somebody have to supply for you?
Of course, I have to buy for somebody. I cannot grow. Oh, sorry. I cannot grow them that fast because when you do it, you need a lot of it. Yeah, I have to buy for somebody else. Yeah.
Okay. If in that case, do you think how much do you need for investment for everything with this kind of business? How much money you are talking about?
I think it's gonna start at 200,000.
200,000 baht.
Yeah.
Only?
I mean, start at 200,000.
Oh, okay. So that's really a very small business, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to do like export your stuff abroad?
Yeah, in the future, but right now that I do like a small business, I'm just gonna deliver it into some department store first. If I have a lot of budget, then I'm gonna of course do an export. The income it's kind of a lot from export.
What if you have like 200,000 baht? So you invested all the money into your business, but why don't you think of like expanding your business right away abroad? When you can speak English, when you can communicate in English, I think it would be easier if you like, contact probably like neighbors first, the countries near us. That could be good because it's dry food, isn't it? And it can be kept for a long time. So that could be probably will make your business grow faster instead of doing just locally. What do you think about that?
I think, of course, I'm gonna do that sometime later, but not at. I don't think in the first year I was doing this. I'm not gonna do it.
And why?
Because
what's the reason?
it's have a very high chance that your business is going to fail. Yeah, so
Like that.
if sorry,
What made you think like that?
I mean, of course it's gonna happen a failure because you're a small business, and right now the kind of granola, the taniput, it's kind of a lot in the market. It's competitive, and I'm just a small brand. Maybe I didn't get an attention much. Like the PR team didn't do well. Of course, failure is gonna come, and if I do an investment to like export my product into other country, and it didn't get any attention, it's gonna be waste of money. Yeah, so I think I have to grant attention for people first, and after that I'm just gonna do the export if I be able to.
Do you think of doing online as well?
Yes.
My business. This is,
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays it's very good, isn't it, that to do everything online. Number one is to save yourself. Number two is to save costs.
Yeah.
Right? And it goes everywhere, all over the world, very easily and quickly, right? So maybe you can get the turnover very quickly with the online business, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, for business, we have to expect for the words that can happen. Yeah. But I mean, that can happen to nowadays because I just go into put an advertisement, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Yeah, can get people attention that way too, and it's very good.
You mean you can tweet as well, do the Twitter as well?
Yeah.
For products, how would you do that? Or is it just like any other platform?
Yeah, just like any other platform, when you scroll down looking for a thing, it's gonna have one block that are commercial there, and yeah, it's that like any other.
And your Twitter, is it only just for domestic or internationally?
I think I'm gonna do it in Thai with an English added CC along with Thai, like in the package at the commercial thing too. Yeah.
So in the Twitter, you can post like pictures or video clip as well, right? Both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long do they allow for a video clip? Like how many minutes? Is
It's
there any
about
limitation?
2 and 20 minutes.
2 and 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
What about the Instagram? Which one is better?
So for Instagram, if you just scroll down and you saw a video clip, it's just for 1 minute, but they have a new feature called IGTV. It's like you can post a clip there. I have seen one that lasts for 10 minutes,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
but it's kind of harder to explore them because you didn't see them through your page. You have to find for them.
Right. How about TikTok?
TikTok is very good place too. You can get attention so easily because they have a commercial site. If you spend some money there, the TikTok algorithm is gonna do their thing. When you scroll down, it's your commercial just gonna pop up. Yeah.
How much is that? What's the cost? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
It's not an exact cost, but I don't know
Hmm.
how much is it.
Is it just locally only in Thailand?
I think I can choose like which country I'm gonna need, or maybe select the worldwide for everyone. Yeah, I don't know.
I see. Okay. How about line business?
Line business. Yeah, but people have to add me first to be their friends, and I gonna make my line into like a commercial thing that sends news to them, and they can order stuff from line.
But nowadays, I have seen that just like ordinary line, I mean on the line platform, I have seen that if you post on your timeline and as a public, so anybody can see your post, right? That is also one way of expanding yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, but like to reality, just a small amount of people go to that page. Most of people just do a chat, but that can be a waste too. Yeah.
I see. Okay. What do you think is the best way to make people know about your products? What's the best way, the quickest way, and the best response from other people?
I mean, of course, the best way is to back to back.
Words to words.
Yeah, words to words.
Yeah, but words to words, I mean, it's the best way, but it's like you can get just only the people in the circle of the certain group, right? And it also depends on that those people, if they are going to tell another people for you. If not, then what? You just stuck like that, right? Yeah. But if you do online on all the platform that, I mean, the possible platforms that will, at least maybe like if you post like 100 times, 100 posts, and you have respond maybe 1 or 2, that is already good enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like you find a needle in a haystack, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's nowadays the world has, changed a lot and it's changing every day, right? The world is changing. I don't want to say it has been changed, but it's changing. It still keep on changing and changing every day. Do you think it's a good way of living like this or before?
I think it's great that the worlds keep moving on. Yeah, because when the world moves on, that means like technology, it's go to another step. Of course, it's gonna make your life easier. But with that, right now, of course, the first thing that many people concerned is climate change. It's chaotic and people get mad. Like they're kind of more of selfish of themselves. Yeah. So I think, yeah, it's great and it's had to be like when you live in the world that's always keeping moving on. Yeah, I think it's better, but also the world in the back of the day, that's people very kind and gently. It's great too, but I mean like nowadays there's still kind of people like that too, but just a small amount because yeah, right now COVID-19 makes everything worse. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes everything worse, but in that kind of the bad situation, there must be some slight of the good things as well, right?
Yeah.
With the virus that expand all over the world, it's like they keep people, away from each other. They make the transportation less because people don't travel much, right? That also helps maybe to clean up the pollution, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Last night I heard from I think it's from TikTok, said that in European countries now, Christmas this year is going to be very quiet because many countries are locked down at the moment because of the new virus, and there are still a lot of people get infection. This is because there are still like 30% of people in each country don't want to get vaccinated. So that's why the virus spread very quickly, and it's also because of the winter time, and the virus live longer in the cold weather, right? So they said that this Christmas is going to be very quiet. So how do you feel about this? Personally, I feel sad because Christmas is not Christmas anymore. We should be happy, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about this, and what do you think about this?
For the Christmas, yeah, it's very sad, but I'm kind of feel used to it a little that everything quiet. Yeah, because of the COVID-19. Yeah, it's sad. People cannot go and celebrate, see their loved one. Yeah, but I kind of getting used to it a little.
You're used to it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't celebrate Christmas anyway, right?
Yeah.
But soon after the Christmas is going to be New Year's Eve. Then I think everyone everywhere in the world celebrate the New Year's Eve, right? Just to farewell to the 31st of December and welcome the 1st of January. And that I think is going to be slightly more or less the same as Christmas. Or do you think it's going to be different?
I think it's gonna be a bit different.
You mean the New Year's Eve going to be a bit different than the Christmas period?
Yeah.
Why?
I think this is very personal, but I think people are not gonna do much about Christmas Eve and Christmas. They're just gonna do it at one time in New Year's Eve and New Year. Yeah. But I don't know. That's what I think.
Right. Okay. All right. Somebody is knocking at the door now. It's 4 o'clock. Okay. When do we meet again?
Thursday.
Wednesday.
No, Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. All right, Nong Nai, it's time now. I have to go. Yeah, but thank you very much for today. We have done a good job, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, and then until then, yeah, we'll see you again. All right, thank you.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ